Mizmor LeDavid, Adonai mi yoger ba'alecha mi yishkin b'har kodshecha, heilich tam b'el tzedek, v'dover emes b'lvavai, le'rogal al shayne le'yosel le'reu ra, v'cherpa le'nasa al krevai. Nizze be'enov nimos, v's'irei Adonai yichabed, nishpa le'hora v'lo'yomir, kaspe le'nasa v'neshach, v'shoichad al naki le'lokach. Oise ele le'yimet le'elam. A psalm by David, Hashem, who may sojourn in your tent, who may dwell in your holy mountain, one who walks in perfect innocence and does what is right, and speaks the truth from his heart. He who has no slander on his tongue, who has done his fellow no evil, nor cast disgrace upon his close one, in whose eyes a disgraceful person is repulsive, but who honors those who fear Hashem, who can swear to his detriment without retracting, who lends not his money on interest, nor takes a bribe against the innocent. A doer of these shall not falter forever. We are gathered here to pay our last respects and to also, I guess, celebrate the life of Sara Bas Eliezer of Sara Gildar. Sara was born March 3rd, 1933, in a small shtetl, small city outside of Vilna. In 1936, the Sinyuks, who were living in Colombia, bought Sara and her mother tickets to be able to come join them in Colombia. When Sara was 21 years old, she came for bar mitzvah in Detroit, and that's in 1954. And Mr. Sol Kazin, who knew Jack and knew Sara, was able to arrange for them to meet, and it seems a short while later they were married. Sara and Jack were married for about 60 years, and they had 2 children, 3 grandchildren. Trying to put some thoughts together of what we knew of Sara and what the family knew of Sara. We'll try to just think, what's the point of coming to the funeral? What's really the objective of a funeral? We could come and just relay the facts of when she was born, when she died, the fact that she lived 86 years, productive years. But there are certain traits and aspects of Sara's life that I think all of us can take something home and really gain from. By doing that, Sara was not, once she passed away, it's not just that she would be gone forever, but those traits of hers that we would take with us and implement in our lives would keep her memory and keep her with us. I did my research. I spoke to my mother-in-law. I spoke to my children. I remembered our relationship with Sara. And I had something struck me that I want to share with you. I know that whenever we used to go visit her on Wendover, the kids would come, they'd play a little bit, and she always had in her little cupboard a bag with some tea biscuits, and the kids always had to have something to eat. As we were fortunate, this past summer we were on a road trip, and we decided that we'll visit some national parks that were along the way, and we would wind ourselves up in Atlanta. And thankfully we did. We got to spend some time with her a few months ago. And you could tell the almost frustration that she was feeling that when the kids came and she didn't have any food or anything to give them. And she made David run to the kitchen to see if there was any dessert left that she could give the kids some cookies. She had a very giving personality. She would cook, she would host, and this is something that she loved to do, was to be able to give. After Jack passed away, Sarah felt a little bit of a vacuum, a loss, that someone that she had cared for and given so much to was gone. She didn't have that opportunity to give. But what struck me was that the first thing that Rochelle told me, and when we spoke after Sarah passed away, she said, my mom was who she was because of the difficulties she had in her childhood. Sarah didn't have an easy childhood. And if you would try to imagine her childhood as one that she was given to, things were given to her, that's not the way it was. Things were very difficult. She was raised without a father. They were immigrants in a strange country. And probably when we feel that things are not comfortable for us, for her, that would have been comfortable. So it just struck me that this that she lacked when she was young was actually one of the traits that she was known for when she was grown. In halacha, when a person eats a grape, the blessing we recite on a grape is Borei Pri Ha'etz, the blessing, the one who created the fruits of the tree. But if you take the grape and you squeeze it and you create juice out of it, the blessing then becomes Borei Pri Ha'gafen, that the fruit of the vine, which is the blessing we make on wine and grape juice. And in Talmud, that's considered that the grape has been elevated, it's become better. In Psalms, the Jew is compared to a grape. And Jews, many times, when they are squeezed and when they are pressed, instead of giving up, they actually become better. Just like the grape, when it's squeezed, it becomes wine. You buy a pound of grapes for a couple dollars, you could buy a bottle of wine for a couple hundreds. So it's that trait that Sarah had, that the difficulties that she had when she was young, actually she grew off of them and developed them to be able to shine later, to be such a giver. What mattered very much to Sarah was family. Again, we went to visit her, and she saw us. She was finishing her dinner, and she saw us from a distance. And as she was being wheeled out, all she could tell everybody was, "My family came to visit. My family came to visit." That was something that was important to her throughout. We know Rosh Hashanah or other holidays, she would host family for the meals. Family was very important to her. When she would want to go on a cruise, so it wasn't just her and Jack, she just made sure to take David and his family also on the cruises, because that way the vacation wouldn't be complete without her family. When Sarah moved to Atlanta, so we were helping go through the house a little bit, and I was blown away at the amount of sets of china that she had, because there was so much china, because she liked to host and have so many people, and there was, even for her Pesach china, there were multiple sets that she had. In this week's Torah portion, the first word in the portion, the last letter is small. The word is Vayikra, and the last letter, an aleph, is small. And the commentators explain that there's a connection between that and the portion we read 3 weeks ago, where Moshe's face had a shine to it. And the question is, how did he get that shine? And there are those that say that when God gave Moshe the ink to write the Torah, he gave him the correct amount of ounces that he needed to write. When that letter Aleph was written small, there was that amount of ink left over. And after the completion of the Torah, Moshe took that ink and put it on his forehead, and that's what made him shine. And sometimes it's that when we're pressed into a small aleph, we're pressed into being small, and we're challenged, that's when we get to shine. Sarah didn't have much family, or her family structure was weak when she was young. But that made her shine. The family meant all that much more to her when she was older. Sarah loved to be an active person. She was an active member in Hadassah. She would go on their bowling tournaments, and she didn't like to sit by idly and not do anything. That's if you would ask someone just to define her, just a couple words, 2 words, a word that I heard her describe was just she was a good person. And in Ethics of the Fathers it says that there are numbers of crowns a person could have, but the crown of a good name, Oila al Kulan, that's the best. Someone passes away with a good name, it's very praiseworthy. So later at the burial, we'll be saying, the children will be saying Kaddish. The Kaddish that we say at the burial is the same Kaddish that we say when we finish a tractate. And the reason for that is because we are here it's the completion of a book. Sarah wrote a book for 86 years of her life, the ups and the downs, the happy times, the sad times, the difficulties, and the successes. And we're really coming to celebrate the completion of that book. And it's very appropriate that she went to the hospital and was in the hospital over last Shabbos when we completed the second book in the Chumash, and everyone in Shul said, Chazak, Chazak, v'nis chazek. We should be strong that we completed the past book, and we should strengthen ourselves that we could complete the next book. So we could really say that about Sarah, that Chazak, that she was strong, that she completed her life. V'nis chazek, we could take a lesson from that and strengthen ourselves and take part of what she wrote in her book and implement it in our lives. And if we do that, then we'll merit the blessing. There will be a time when God will erase death from the world. Hashem will dry our tears, and that will be with the coming of Mashiach. I'd like to call Rochelle to share with us a few words.
Mom was above all devoted to her family, daughter of Grandma Bubby of blessed memory, husband Jack of blessed memory, mother of David and I, grandma to Hannah, Elliot, Harrison, and now Alyssa. Sarah was a lifelong member of Hadassah, volunteering at Menorah Park with her beloved cousin Betty, who was like a sister to her. She was a walker, doing the circuit on the tree-lined streets of Beechwood. She was a balabusta, keeping a kosher Jewish home, celebrating holidays with family and friends, always welcoming, always hospitable. The past year, Elliot and Alyssa's wedding was a joy, and she got to see a lot of old friends this year, and that was really wonderful for her, because I know she felt kind of lonesome in Atlanta, away from her community. It was all about family and community for my mother, so thank you all for coming here to honor her today.
Will everyone please rise and we'll say the Kelmale. What's the name? Sara Gildar. I'll write it down.
El Molech Hachamim Shoichein B'Amerobo Yamim Hamitzei Menuchon Nechoino Ale Kanefei Hashechino B'Malois Kido boishim utahav boirim kizoya rokiya mazhirem es nishmas feiges simasorobas Eliezer Shaholachol Yoilo Bomo Babo Shibnei HaMishpocho Yitem B'li Neder Tzedoko B'yad Askoros Nishmo Boso B'gan Eden Tehei Menuchoso Lochein Balora B'Vachamim Yastirel V'Seisel Kinofo L'Yoboboy Lomim V'Yitzroir B'Yitzroir Achavayim Es Nishmoso Adonai hu nachalo boboso V'sonua chalamishkavo B'shovo boboboboim V'noyama bobomen.
The interment will be at Zion Memorial Park. The family will be sitting Shiva after following the burial until 8 p.m. tonight, Friday from 1 to 4, and morning services on Sunday at 10 a.m. It will be at the Lichstein residence, 38731 Gaelic Glen in Solon.